guys, I'm just going to share it with a few other of my groups. I'm going to go into Black Women Prepper group that we've established for what I think is clearly the purge election night that's coming up, if you have not been paying attention, and a few things that if you have it on your side, you will be very well taken care of. So let me just share with a few more groups in my live stream broadcaster. And this is and one more to my membership group. Okay. And we should be good to go, right? Cancel. And almost done. And we will go back to here. All right, guys. So let's talk about Black Women's Prepper Group. I have found that in the prepping community, and prepping, if you don't know what it is the idea of being prepared for any bad scenario, made popular by doomsday preppers, where they had all these families who were preparing for pandemics or viruses or nuclear fallout, and they would live their life in such a way so if the grid was down or the systems went down, they would be able to survive it comfortably. So it was popularized. Now let's get it real. I mean, if you're from the country, basically anybody in the South is already a prepper. They already have food, they already have a deep freezer, they already have whole house generators, because they generally live in areas where the weather is so bad. If they have the means and money, they have gotten extra things, or they know that they can't rely on the power coming back soon. So some people think like, oh, it's popularized by doomsday preppers. Like, yes, but people who live in the South and the Southeast, they've already been doing that. They've already had to be very self-sufficient. So it's just something you need to be aware of. This is nothing new under the sun. Let me just see what's going on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. And just to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Okay, so the thing is, when you start going to a lot of these prepper groups, like, mind you, Black people are already preparing, maybe not in the community aspect, but every person I know down here in Virginia who is Black has a deep freezer and knows how to survive without power, right? So they're already living a lifestyle of being prepared. But now with everything going on, martial law, a pandemic, the idea of prepping for a specific scenario, not just having things on hand in case there is a bad power outage, is a real life thing. And right now, shit hit the fan is coming up. You know, right now, if you have not been paying attention, civil war is coming up. And there was this one guy, I saw a post, and he put, you know, women who are single, y'all really need to think right now how you're going to survive when things go south. You know, these riots we've seen, this is nothing compared to what I call the purge election night coming up. And it was funny because of this group I created, I was able to just say, I was able to just simply say, you know, the women in our group, we have bats, machetes, knives, guns, ammo, ham radios, flashlights, backup flashlights. We've already discussed different water resources. We've already discussed different food resources. And it's a good thing to be able to say, especially as a single woman, but it doesn't matter who you are. It's just a good thing to have. So I am ready to let you guys know about it. I did another video, but it was just really bad quality, so I just wanted to take it down and go, yeah, like, we are doing this. We are very aware of what's going on. So say just election night, already contentious. People already saying they're ready to fight. People already say they're ready for war. We have groups that are armed on different sides. We have people who are already organized as militia groups. We have a lot of racism. People are really pissed off that Black Lives Matter says we want to be treated equally. It says more about them than it does us, right? And I mean, this is happening, right? We have a president who's sick. We have people who are just vehemently opposed to each other. We already know where this is headed. Stick your head in the sand if you want to, but we sort of know where this is going. And that's just the beginning. I see helicopters and military personnel in my neighborhood. Like, there's been a ramping up. I have a station that's been empty for years and they're dusting it off. Why? Well, I can imagine if they've done this lockdown now, what about when the second wave hits? What if another pandemic comes? We're going to be locked down and they're going to be enforcing martial law. None of this is a possibility. None of this is far-fetched at this point. And if it comes down to that, if there is a food shortage, if there is a power outage, if there is martial law, if you can't go nowhere, if there's military personnel in your street and they're not nice to you just because you're American, because that goes right out the window when it's us versus them, right? If all that's going on, you're going to want to stay at home. If your power goes out, you might not be able to go get the supplies. I can barely go to IKEA and get a cabinet because they get 2 a day, all right? Let alone in the middle of a pandemic, let alone a civil war, let alone any of that, right? Like, it's amazing when people are like, nothing's happening, you know, and there's a fire raging around them. So a lot of these prepper groups, when you start going into them, especially as a Black person, you find that they are mostly white, which is fine. But then you start getting into very conservative, and a lot of them can be quite racist. I mean, they're sitting there showing pictures of saying, shoot all them people, and it's like 10 Black people. Like, really? You just really said shoot them all? You have no heart or compassion? And that's the group. That's not one off. That's the entire group. And you want to get tips and tricks, so you might stay and stomach it, but it just gets too much. It's very low vibrational for me. I don't want to be around people like that. So I found, and I told everybody, hey, you know, in my last YouTube video, go find Black prepper groups. I'm in a liberal women's prepper group, you know, like 2 Black people, like mostly white, which is fine. But, you know, at least the theology is like, we're not here to say, let's shoot everybody, right? And, you know, it's so, and the politics I don't care about. I try to live my life where it doesn't matter who's in charge. I try to live my life and create my life and not be dependent on anyone. So I really don't care about the politics. I do care about the racism. So never really felt like that. Always like feeling like, I just can't stomach this. I just can't. And these people think this is okay to say and post. And the moderators try to be a little discerning, but then it's like you'd have to kick out the entire group if you cared about that, right? Like, you can't get it all. So I know, so there's Black groups out there, Black prepper groups, liberal prepper groups, but I created a Black women's prepper group because it's a very special, different place. You know, I talk about spirituality in there. We talk about prepping. We talk about what we already have. And so I just wanted to say, hey, that's out there. Last video was trash. This one is not. And let you guys know that there is a resource. A friend of ours is in the group, and she's in Mexico, and she just had a really bad hurricane, and they were out of power for 3 days. And she was just like, you know, now that I'm, you know, she's moved abroad, and she's like, you know what? It was very uncomfortable. I had to eat chips in a warm hand sandwich. And I was like, hey, join our group. I didn't know she was already in the group. She was like, girl, I'm in the group. And now I'm literally going to go buy all the things that we talked about, our lists, our resource guides. And she was like, before I was transit, but now I'm not. And this is a necessary. And this was just a tropical storm, let alone what's going to be happening with what's going on in the world. So this is real life. I cannot stress enough. So I'm spiritual. So, you know, I get guidance from my ancestors. They've told me it's literally going to be purge election night, and it has to happen. It is going to happen. If you're in the spiritual community and you're looking at all the prophetic dreams and rapture dreams, they're like on fleet, right? I mean, there's like thousands, right? So they have their own version of events as well. It is just very obvious what is going to happen on a higher level. But even if you don't believe in a higher power, which, I mean, you're going too soon, or you better, just the physical reality of the situation is right now being able to hunker down, get your own food, get your own water, which can be as simple as a Life Straw or a Berkey water filter, right? Because you can take sewage off the street and put it in a Berkey filter, which I have, and half the people in my group have, and you can drink that water, right? Now that's survival, and it's lightweight and easy. So little things like that can make the difference between you having to feel your only solutions to rob someone for water or food because there's a breakdown in the supply chain and the farmers haven't been farming and all that just compiles on itself, versus you are fine and calm and you're gonna, you know, this matters. You're at a calm state. Being all chaotic and all worked up in arms, that's not what this is about. You got to be able to be calm through that. So I'm gonna list this and put it on my Facebook page. So let me go ahead and just put the link down in the videos. And all right, so I'm gonna link the video here. I'm gonna link right here, but all are welcomed. Log in for this. All right. So I'm going to place it in here. If you guys, oops, no, that's the live video. I need to post the, Facebook group so you guys can find it. Okay, let me go get it again. Facebook group. It is here. I'm just gonna post. So if you guys have anything to say, you can just say it below. Like I said, last video was a little trash because I was just in my car, and this is much nicer. I just redid my home office. I put this green wall and the lights. I just think it's really cool. Makes my skin pop. So. So let me get this link, and you know, I don't want to waste your guys' time, so I'll post it below. But being prepared is the difference between you feeling you have to do something illegal in the next coming months and not, and that's a pretty big deal. Feeling that you have no other options and choices, or you know, there's the ant and the grasshopper. Y'all know at the end of the fable, that little grasshopper was sitting there cold, shivering, and the ant was inside all warm and eating. And this is the season, you know, we need to do that ant medicine, like a native folklore. They always talk about what do you learn from the animals, and the ant gives you ant medicine, which is like, we need to also learn from them that you put away and you work hard and diligently for those winter months. And it is definitely the time of the ant. And if you can't see what's going on and you're not prepared, or you think everything's going to be fine, that is your choice. We all have free will. But for those of us who are very intuitive and we can sense the winds of what's happening, we can sense that regardless of what the media says, things are off and they're never telling us the truth. That's who this group is for. So, yeah, thanks. So let me just look and make sure no one's asking me any questions on the site. Go to this page. Facebook gets really slow around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, here it is. Just get it from here. Okay, here we can do this. There we go. And I will post the link in the description below. Alright guys, hope to see you in there. If not, that's fine. I just want to let you know it's out there, and it's I mean, I'm telling you right now, it's necessary, but some people gotta learn on their own. So love you guys. Hope to see you in there. Bye.